If this guy's a good tenant, he pays the rent. God bless. Don't do anything. Don't
No,
change anything.
it's a horrible laundry.
Correct.
They couldn't do anything worse than they're doing.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Hey, Bruce, my name's Danny. I'm looking to lease some space. Hopefully you can help me.
It's an apartment building.
The spot down below the Coin Laundromat. I thought you owned that building.
I do. It's an apartment building. So what part do you want to lease?
The Laundromat.
The laundromat
Commercial
is occupied
space.
by a laundry. Yeah, it's occupied by a laundromat.
That is correct.
I mean, anything could be done. Are you looking to open a laundromat or are you looking to do something else?
Yeah, I'm in the laundry business. I've got 36 locations in the tri-state area. My partner and I scout these locations. We walk in. We normally even do a little bit of laundry. When we see a lot of room for improvement, we want to reach out to the landlord, see if and when there's availability for a lease coming up. Have I talked to the operator about selling the business? No, I have not. I'm not interested in buying it at any price. At the end of the day, I've built my stores doing exactly this. I'm not trying to talk over you, but I can tell you're asking me the good questions. If this guy's a good tenant, he pays the rent. God bless. Don't do anything. Don't change anything.
It's a horrible laundry.
Correct.
They couldn't do anything worse than they're doing. They're run by a bunch of imbeciles.
If it was a good store, I wouldn't have called you.
No, you can only improve. You can't run it worse. So, I mean, it's ugly. It's dirty. She's a Chinese woman who bought it. She has no knowledge in business or laundry. She's completely over her head.
That's more words than I spoke since I know you.
She does pay her rent because my office is next door and I bother her all the time. So yes, she does pay her rent. I'm not losing money on her, but she's a disaster.
Yeah.
And I know she tries to sell it every minute.
Yeah.
She's always trying to sell it because she wants out because she can't handle. She never expected this operationally. She doesn't know how to operate a laundromat at all. She's just a lady. She's a nice lady who doesn't know the first thing about laundromats.
I'm sure. And I can tell you this, I see this over and over, and not to bore you to tears, but to go back, you and I don't frequent laundromats. We don't go in there every Sunday like a lot of folks do. And that's sort of the disconnect where people think they can run this business where you just pick up gold out of the streets and they buy it. Then they realize they bought a bill of goods. Then they realize my landlord's a nice enough guy and I got to pay him, but I can't seem to figure out how to make money. And so the store gets worse and worse. They can't afford to fix the equipment. They don't understand proper. You know what I do?
No, her equipment is all leaking. Everything is just.
So the inception for me, Bruce, is to make this type of call, let you know we are interested. I will send you an email. Without even asking, you give me the answer. You say she's nice. Okay. She pays the rent. Okay. Now, do me a favor. Check the rent rolls if she's month to month or if she's in arrears or whatever happens. We'll talk, and maybe that is 6 months from now or 6 days from now.
What do you do when cockroaches get in the woodwork, Michael?
Smoke them out?
That's right.
Why not wait until they make a move?
Because waiting's good for them and bad for us. You get impatient, nervy, careless, maybe dead. I've seen it.
And I'll try to beat you up on the rate.
I mean, she's reaching the end of her rope. She's tried. She's failed several times trying to sell it because she's asking a stupid price for it. She tried selling it to someone for $100,000, which is completely insane. And the machines are all completely a mess. Everything's a mess. She's selling nothing.
I know. I've been in the store. I know. Do you know why I want? Do you know why I want it?
Last three people.
Do you know why I want it?
Because you could make it in a good laundromat.
Infrastructure, correct. One word.
Right. You could do it.
Of course.
So the only thing I could do now is put this in the back of my head and see as we progress.
Right.
I can't just kick her out tomorrow.
No. Nor would I want you to.
But I also very oftentimes just don't do anything because I don't know what will be after, but knowing you're in the wind, then it makes it different.
It is, I think, going to be a very harsh and unpleasant kind of business. And will, I think, require an extremely harsh and unpleasant kind of man to see to it.
So you have been in there. So you saw what a condition it's in and stuff like that.
Right. My only interest, my only intrigue is in the gas, water, electric, not the non-existent goodwill, not the fact that she's in there sweeping the floors every day. It's the fact that without breaking too much of a sweat, I'm going to retool it. That's the difference. I'm going to spend my money on me. I'm going to spend my money on my future. I'm going to spend my money on a good long-term business. I need a long-term lease because I'm spending tons of money on washers and dryers, not someone's failure. This happens again and again, Bruce. You're preaching to the choir.
We built this laundromat with the original laundry guy. Oh, God. I'm trying to think when it was. It was about 25 years ago. It was like these Russian guys, and they were very professional. And they supported it and brought in machines, and they did a good job. Yeah. But then they exited, and everyone else has fallen apart since.
It's the way it happens. And normally, the first operator can't figure out how to make money because they built it, because they spent the money on the infrastructure. And then the second or third operator does well. And by the time you get to this young, and I didn't even know it was a woman, and her sale price, let me say this, one thing we've left out. God forbid she does manage to find somebody to give her $50, $20, even $10,000. Now who's Bruce's future tenant? Now you're stuck with somebody that's out 10 grand.
I have to approve it.
And you shouldn't.
Right. Well, I've told her that the last couple she brought in one or two tenants, and I rejected it. So she's a little frustrated right now. Well,
she's got a business, quote unquote, in rented space. You are a massive part of that equation. Bruce, I'm not going to ask about your rate of rent. We'll talk when that time comes. What's your email address?
Bruce.com.
Good man.
So I'll just keep this in my mind, and I guess check back in from time to time, and I'll see what I can understand.
You're right next door. If you see that she's going belly up, this is my cell phone number. It's the only number you need. Appreciate making the connection.
Well, she's not going to want it. She's not going to want to go belly up and walk out. She wants to unload it to someone and go belly up.
Doesn't matter.
She wants to get a check.
Yeah. Good for her.
That's what she wants.
Well,
if it weren't for that, she'd be gone tomorrow.
She bought it. And she figures that
she bought it.
Now that she's
overpaid,
you squeeze a lemon dry, and then you say, "Well, I want something for the rind." That's not the way life works.
Right. She's not going to get it, and she knows that. Okay. So let's keep it in mind. And
Bruce, I'm Danny. My partner's name is Frank. I'll CC him in the email to you.
No problem. Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.
There you have it, Frankie.
Made some progress. Last time, someone answered.
This is a cold call to a landlord who basically tells us exactly how free laundromat works. Period. End of story. End of story. Now, does it have to be a certain time? Does the timing have to be right? Sure. Now, if we would have called him in 6 months, maybe, and I'm not going to poke and prod. The guy talks very fast, so I talk fast. The guy talks over me, I talk over him. It's the way the game has to be played. It's called mirroring. So he's kind of like, oh, I don't like that about this guy, but he respects it. So now, put everything in the notes. I'm going to send him an email, and you need to keep an eye on it. You see the doors shut, we reach out. Otherwise, 6 months from now, we'll call him either way.
I'm pretty sure this hot water heater's got a few more good years left in it.